Hey, how about you, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Live Recruiting Show. I'm your host, Jeffrey Lee, Senior Recruiting Editor for Auburn Live on 3. Dadgummit. Today is Thursday, May the 8th, 2025. For you, it is a Wednesday evening, May the 7th, 2025. For us, keep that in mind moving forward. If we slip up with any today's, tomorrow's, or yesterday's, and absolutely we will do it. There's no question about it. So if you hear us say today, tomorrow, yesterday, know that we're recording this recruiting show on Wednesday. We're going to get to some recruiting questions tonight. We're going to take a broader view of what's going on with Auburn's 2026 class and its recruitment. Here to do it with me, as they always are, Mr. Allen Head and Mr. Cole Pinkston. How about you, fellas?
How about you?
How about you, everybody?
Hey, you know what? I was I downloaded an app called Spotify.
Oh,
and
Hey,
you can listen to podcasts on that thing. Are y'all aware of this?
oh yeah.
But so I started listening to our show. It's not the same, dude. It's not the same when you can't see us.
Yeah,
I agree. It definitely, the way we have the show laid out, you got to be a visual. You got to be a visual person, right? To get all the reactions. We are not audio friendly at times,
Correct.
especially when I'm on my 4-letter rant. So
Yeah,
well, I just
tune into the YouTube show.
It's just because we're so dang good looking.
facial expressions, like you can't see that. I mean, ever since I can remember, I've been popping my collar.
Oh,
you wouldn't know that unless you were watching it on TV. You see me popping my collar.
They're going, dang it! I wish I could see that.
Right. Yeah, I'm popping my row back. Speaking of row back, if you're not familiar with the row back, there's only one way to describe row back, and you can't see me holding up my fingers either. You can't. There's only one way to describe row back. Best fit, best feel. One way. For those who aren't familiar, and I got balloons. People on my Spotify don't get the balloons either. Y'all don't see the emojis or whatever they're called. Best fit, best feel. For those who aren't familiar with Rowback, they're completely changing the game with their incredibly comfortable activewear. They're certainly changing the game in my closet. I love these things, man, and they have several Auburn items. I've got a couple of them. Rowback has released so many items within their new licensed game day collection, and it's our favorite. Rowback is, for sure, no doubt about it. Novel polo designs, clean hoodie, Q-zip designs for some of your favorite schools, including Auburn. It's definitely worth checking out. Nobody else on the market is pairing these level of custom designs with this quality of activewear. It's the nicest Auburn gear on the market, no doubt. Rowback's everyday shorts or their Delta Performance pants are the perfect pairing as well. Fantastic golfing if you like to golf. Not me, but if you do, they're fantastic. They're both super comfortable, have an elastic waistband, and great fabric that is made to have the appearance of a nice short look, but the comfort of a day on the move. Rowback's also proudly leading the NIL charge, having signed partnerships with multiple college football stars, past and present, and becoming the go-to brand for college athletes across the country. As always, as a loyal listener to the Auburn Live Recruiting Show, use the promo code Auburn20, that's Auburn20, on rowback.com for a generous 20% off for all new customers. That's spelled RHOBACK.com, 20% off all performance polos, shorts, and more with the promo code Auburn20. Appreciate Rowback, man. Love the Rowback. All right, fellas, we are going to go straight to it. There's been a couple of announcements in the last week. Commitment dates, official visit set. I think our questions will cover them all, just kind of glancing over them. If the questions don't cover anything, we'll circle back to it. But getting this started, Romano O'Roy wants to know, rank as far as most likely to end up in Auburn's class. Most likely, fellas, this is 5-star number 1 overall player Zion Ely, who is a big fan of the Philadelphia Eagles, we learned. Anthony Tank Jones, the 5-star edge from Mobile, or Tyler Atkinson, the 5-star linebacker from Grayson in Loganville, Georgia. Most likely of the 3, fellas.
I think for me, it's Anthony Tank Jones.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have said that a month ago. I would not have said that a month ago, 6 months ago. Like it just, I have never felt like Anthony Tank Jones would land at Auburn. I think that is more 50-50 now than it ever has been. And he's easily the highest on my list right now. Like if I'm putting a Jeffrey Lee hot board together, he's at around 50% for me.
This has to be like who is most likely after Tank Jones, right?
Yeah,
sure.
I feel like we're all gonna say Tank. So who would y'all have second?
And I like how you're doing percentages, because if I were to bust out a hot board, and I'm going too soon.
Sure.
I'm going too soon. I would say within the next couple of weeks, because I love being able to look at this official visitor list, at least the official visitors that we know of this early. It typically does not happen, but there's, I think, over 50 OVs locked in for the summer. Gives me a very good idea of what Auburn's boards looks like.
Yeah, we know who the official visitors are, or at least who they've tried to get scheduled, right. And then we know who they've gone to see.
Exactly.
And when you put those two things together, that's how you know they are trying to knock down the door for this person.
There you go. Lots of interest.
Or at least they're on the board. Right.
Yeah, right. Right. They're a priority. I mean, if they're willing to fly across the country or fly a couple of states over or drive a state or two over, they're worth mentioning.
Yeah.
So looking at hot board style, how would I have these ranked? You said 50-50 on Tank. I would probably go 45 on Tank.
Okay.
But he would be my highest.
Yes, would be my highest.
I think Zion might be my next.
You just stole it out of my mouth. Because I'm not going to do the A and then 2 here. We'll get to that later in my shout-outs, all right?
Oh, y'all are in for it. I
yes.
got a bunch.
I'm going to correct that, guys. But I think it's Zion because of the matchups. And because I think Mike Loxley, God bless him, is about a bad season away from getting fired there at Maryland. So because of all of the logistics surrounding his commitment to Maryland, I like Auburn in that matchup better than I do for Tyler Atkinson, who I think Auburn is third at best behind Ohio State and Georgia.
Who was Auburn got somebody in a situation similar to that recently, where coach was maybe on the hot seat and ended up getting fired, I think, and Auburn benefited from it. Was it? Oh, it was Cam Coleman.
Cam Coleman with Jimbo Fisher. You could also say Amaris Williams and how things fell apart for Florida, and Billy down the stretch. Billy didn't get fired.
Jamonte Waller as well.
Yeah, but some real pressure got mounted there, and it turned ugly quick for them in that recruiting class.
I would have Tank at 45. I might have Zion at 35, and I might have Tyler at 25. I think there's a 75% chance that he picks the field. I think Auburn's got a 1 in 3 shot to flip Zion right now, dude. Now, hey, holler back in a month after these guys have come in for official visits.
Right.
What do y'all think of the Eagles thing? The tweet that Zion
I think that was a makeup call. I think that was a makeup. He was talking about Auburn, no doubt about it.
Oh yeah, 100%. But why? Why did he have to do that? Is more my question. You think
the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yeah.
Because his NIL agent got a phone call and basically said, "Take that shit down right now." If you,
what are you doing?
Yeah, you.
If you're not familiar, I think we covered it. He put out a tweet that had an eagle and a question mark, right? All around the time, buzz is building up about his official visit, and there's some chatter out there.
Did he delete the Philadelphia tweet?
I don't know.
I can't find it. I'm going to share my page real quick for the people that are watching on YouTube, so you people that on the Spotify don't get the so here's the tweet. So here's the tweet, right? That was what he posted. The Eagle question mark, and Auburn had just went in to see him.
Yes.
Right? Okay, now it's going to Zion Ely's. See it hitting it. There's no Philadelphia Eagles.
It did get taken down because I retweeted it and it's gone.
Interesting.
Okay.
Maybe that was like, here, I did it.
Yeah, right.
I don't know, man. There's no telling.
Who knows with these people? I quit trying to read tweets.
Yeah, don't do that. It's really not worth your time, but it's interesting.
You have to post it. You have to acknowledge it. It's our job.
Yes.
But don't read too much into it. And I understand people want to, but
I mean, forget about the tweets. You know, the intel has been saying that it sounds like the official visit's on. Number one, that's the first step in this. If you're going to have a shot, you got to get that official visit to happen. And that's what it sounds. That's the big news, I guess, that we have heard. This official visit is on as of right now.
behind the scenes, I don't think they ever thought it was off. Like
No.
And listen, Auburn, when you're recruiting a kid like this who's committed to an in-state school and with this much publicity and stuff, you kind of want to keep your recruitment of him under wraps as much as possible.
The quieter, the better.
Like, we're not out there writing stories about stuff like that. I mean, we kind of know, and we're passing that on to subscribers that we expect him to visit.
Right.
I know what he's saying, but I'm not going to make a headline out of it. But
no, you're doing that behind a paywall,
right?
You know what I mean? It's a completely different deal than it is if you're making a publicized, full-blown story about Zion Ely. And then, one of the 8,000 public affairs or social media, whoever that works in Maryland's front office there, passes that on along to Mike Loxley. And thus you get the conversation of, hey, man, are we serious or not? You know what I mean? For the kid's sake. Auburn doesn't care because I think Auburn feels comfortable they're going to be able to recruit this kid to the end. But for the kid, he's trying to keep that quiet if he's planning on entertaining other schools, which it seems to me he is. I don't think it's just Auburn that he's entertaining. I think he's entertaining visits to multiple schools.
Well, is Auburn undefeated at St. Francis?
I was just about to say something similar. If you're Maryland, who scares you the most?
DJ Durkin.
It's got to be Auburn right now. I mean, they've got a serious pipeline.
Yeah.
You're going, gosh, we got to get them out of this. How do we get them out of it? I would say you would much rather be playing from Auburn's standpoint than Maryland's right now.
Oh, no question. Especially with the pressure that they're going to have. I mean, they had a bad end of the year last year. I don't know what their quarterback situation is going to be this year.
They got picked apart in the portal, didn't they?
They did. They made some quality pickups, and I need to go more into what other teams did. I've been so focused on what Auburn did in the portal that I probably haven't checked around enough to see what other teams have done. And we'll do that before we do, the old win-loss toss, before we make our season predictions, whatever it's going to be. But Maryland's an interesting case study to me. It's one I want to know more about because of the way Auburn has recruited St. Francis and then what the ramifications of a firing could be if Maryland cuts bait with their head coach.
Yeah.
JaMichael, are we done with the portal? I know the Elon OT was mentioned, but it seems that has gone quiet. Actually, I just had an update on him like 2 days ago. He is visiting. He's down to Auburn and Maryland. Speak of the freaking devil.
Of course.
He is down to Auburn and Maryland. He's visiting Maryland today, as in Thursday that you're listening and watching this. Thursday, he's arriving in Maryland for an official visit. He's down to Auburn. He visited Kansas State, but they took, I think Alan mentioned this, they took somebody else, didn't they, Alan? K-State?
K-State took 2 offensive linemen. Syracuse was the other player in that recruitment. They took 3 guys, and both of them seemed to be done in the portal, along the offensive lines, unless something were to change. So, again, and your reporting called it, Jeffrey, it was Maryland and Auburn with some strong Maryland quotes about it.
I appreciated his honesty and transparency in this interview, JaMichael. If you haven't seen it, go back and look at that. He said basically, Maryland offers me better playing time. It's close to home. He's from Maryland. He's from Bowie, Maryland. I'm sure the state of Maryland's not big, so anything's probably within 2 hours of anything else. So you're fighting proximity of him going back to his home state. Plus, he looks at the roster and goes, "I can play." And he said that.
That's what I was about to say. Even without reading the quotes, which I don't remember that part, but the situation at Auburn, and we talked about this when his name first came up, probably looking at potentially a backup spot.
Sure.
Auburn. And I'm gonna tell you, I really like this guy. I think he's a good player. I think Zach would agree.
He's pretty.
I think he's a good offensive lineman. He could give push to the starters. He might end up starting if he went to Auburn. But I don't know if that's a guarantee at all. With Maryland, it probably is closer to a guarantee.
You know who he reminded me of in person, believe it or not, was just the looks now, but Greg Robinson. He was built. He's very athletic build. He's very tight. Mm-hmm. He's not sloppy. He's a pretty individual, no doubt about it. But yeah, does anybody here think it would be an upset? I would imagine if Auburn were to pull him from Maryland.
I think so, just because of the situation.
Yeah.
But I'm not counting Auburn out yet. But I would pick Maryland.
No, I mean there's 3 legs to a tripod in recruiting the transfer portal, right? It's money, playing time, proximity to home. Those are the 3 guaranteed every time they're involved. Maryland hits it out of the park for him in 2 of those areas. I have no idea where the money is for this kid with Auburn or Maryland. Haven't asked, but I can't imagine as a backup offensive lineman he's commanding top dollar from Auburn. Now, maybe as a starter for Maryland, he is. So maybe Maryland has him there as well. I don't really know. But I do think it would definitely be an upset for Auburn to pull this one off. And I think it would be a feather in Jake's cap, too.
Sure.
Given the factors he's recruiting against, I think that would be an absolute win for Jake in that situation.
I'll tell you, with the transfer portal, Allen, there's probably a fourth leg, which is agent.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm telling you, man.
That one's evolved.
No doubt.
Chase 25 wants to know, will JaMichael Garrett remain in the class? If he leaves, will Auburn put up fight to keep him or look elsewhere? We've kind of hinted at this. We've touched on this a little bit.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to be PR on this one?
Sure.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Cole, you want me to take it or you got it?
Go ahead.
PC, I'm sorry, not PR. PC, man.
Do I think Auburn would fight for him? Moderately, yes.
I hear you.
Do I think they're going to knock down his door and fight in a way where they're beating down, other NIL offers that may be better than theirs? Absolutely not.
I don't think so either.
So it depends on, it's a lot of different situations, right? He is in a bucket of player to me that fits a specific role within the defense. And I think Auburn sees another player that fits that same role that they can get that is obtainable. I don't think that player is necessarily needed in this class. I think there are other linebackers that feel more needs than him. Is he a good player? Yes. Is he a great player? Not in my opinion. I'm not putting that. That's not Auburn telling me that. That's my own observation. I think he's got some things to work through as a smallish linebacker, not a huge frame, got to be able to take on blocks better. There's a lot of development that needs to happen for him. But again, good sideline-to-sideline player. You're just limited somewhat, in my opinion, with his size. And I think if you're Auburn, you feel like you can get similar value in somebody else that may not necessarily cost you the same level of NIL.
Yay or nay, fellas, JaMichael Garrett signs with Auburn in December?
No.
Nay.
I'll say this, though, as a devil's advocate, I guess. I did not think Malik Autry would sign with Auburn at this time last year.
Good point.
I did.
Some folks did.
Different reasons. Not exactly the same situation, but things change, man. It's so hard to keep up with it. The trend as of today says probably not.
I'm with you, Cole. And I will say this, that do you guys, and I don't want to put you in a tight spot, so you can say pass if you don't want to answer this, but do you think him moving out of state has changed maybe the need to retain him because of relationships with high school coaches in the state of Alabama?
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'll go this far. I think he's a good kid, man. I've talked to him a lot. I think he's awesome. I think he's going to be a good player. I think he fits in certain defenses really well. Sort of a specialty kind of guy.
Yes.
But moving around a lot of schools, that's kind of different. It just is. And Auburn's been really, really good at retaining guys on its roster. And if they feel like a guy might move around and survey his options, maybe that's something that hurts it too. I don't know.
Sure. It'd definitely be a red flag because, I think, look, Cole, a character evaluation, and again, this is not a character thing per se, but is a kid a flight risk?
One thing I've noticed about him, he was a very rah-rah guy for Auburn's 2026 class.
Yeah.
And he's gotten very quiet.
Yeah, he has.
And I think there's probably a mutual understanding between him and Auburn about what's going on right now. You've seen a lot of official. When I say a lot, I think at least 3 that I know of that he's set in the past 6 to 7 weeks.
Miami and LSU for sure, right? Maybe Colorado.
I think A&M's in there.
Okay,
I believe you're right.
It is A&M. You're right.
There's another element too. One of the reasons I put in a prediction for JaMichael Garrett, I had an idea of how much Josh Aldridge liked JaMichael Garrett and wanted to get him in the class early. Well, Josh Aldridge is no longer at Auburn. He's at ECU. And, that always changes too when you have a coach change. Durkin's always been over linebackers, but Josh Aldridge really honed in on Garrett. They were close. So that may have something to do with it too.
Kevin Durant's burner 2, not to be confused with Kevin Durant's burner 1. Totally different, folks. Who will be the top 2 highest rated signees on each side of the ball on National Signing Day? Top 2 on defense, top 2 on offense.
Oh, they're going top 2 on both. I thought they were just meant top 2 and then 1 on each side of the ball.
Okay. I'll tell you what, we'll all throw out 1 and we could probably come up with 2.
Okay. I'll give you defense for me, even though today, Ohio State, all the way, right? Braylon Womack. I think come signing day, Braylon Womack lands with Auburn. I'm also going to go back to the state of Mississippi for my offensive pick in Jace Matthews. I think he lands with Auburn come signing day.
Like it. Defense, I would go Tank Jones.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a big one.
Yeah. And to your hot board percentage, I think I'm at 55 right now.
Whoo.
Okay. Cole's got Auburn leading. Team to beat.
If that is the case, it's slight, but I like the trend right now.
Man, I'm gonna tell you what. I got this feeling. I listen. I said 35 on Zion Ely.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to overcome, and we talked about putting things out there publicly that because I'm not here to hurt or certainly not here to hurt Auburn's chances,
of course,
with anybody, and that's probably why I would sandbag Zion Ely's percentage publicly.
Sure,
but I do not doubt Hugh Freeze, DJ Durkin, and Rock Bellantoni. I do not doubt them.
I think you were smart not to fade them in a recruitment.
Those 3 are tough, son. And you put them all together against a Maryland team if Auburn can win 8 to 9 games this year. So anyways, I'm going to go out. I'm going to go heat. I'm going to bring the heater, big dog. I'm going Zion Ely on defense.
Whew.
I'm going Zion Ely on defense. Who are some options? I guess it's going to be wide receiver because
I'm looking at Caden Prothrow.
How about there you go. How about Caden Prothrow? I'm not there yet on him though.
Don't forget about Claude Puma.
Claude Puma. M Puma? Yeah.
I believe you said the M was silent.
That's right. That's right. Like the G in lasagna.
Yeah. I tell you who has a chance to keep rising is Wilson Zierer.
He does.
He just jumped into the 200s overnight, almost 4-star with on 3. So
saw that.
I don't think any of the other services have ranked him yet. So
yeah, on 3 ranked him. I think they've got him a high end 3-star, or not on 3. Excuse me, 24/7 just ranked him. He's a high end 3-star with 24/7. He's a 4-star with on 3. I don't think Rivals has weighed in just yet, but I'm gonna jump onto the Google machine and take a pic real quick. Let's see.
I'm sitting here going, well, I don't think it's going to be a quarterback. I don't think it's going to be a running back. It may be a Caden Prothrow at tight end. It may be a Evan Jacobson or J.C. Anderson at tight end. I feel like it's either going to be most likely a wide receiver.
Yeah.
The Jace Matthews is a good. Who did you say, Cole?
Caden Prothrow, Jace Matthews is what Alan said. That's a good pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's already 5-star territory with on 3. He's 66 on the industry. That's probably the best pick.
Yeah, Caden Prothrow. Yeah, he's certainly a candidate. And
there's not a ton of offensive linemen that have a chance to be the top ranked guy in your class.
Right.
You do have a chance at some 4-stars, and I think a few of these guys they're on are going to be 4-star or 4-star territory, like Dominic Harris. He's just got all these new offers, and Deron Parks, he's going to be in that territory. But Number one in your class? Probably not.
No.
I like the Jace Matthews. I like the Caden Pro through. Marcus Daniel, if you don't get, I think he could move up.
Yeah,
definitely.
Devin Carter's already pretty high up
Devin
there.
Carter, there you go.
We know, you're going to have to fight to hold on to him with Florida State. They've had him on campus so many times.
Who is the highest ranked commitment? Do we know? I'm looking through the on 300 right now.
Devin Carter, isn't it?
Should be Carter.
Gotta be.
Well, no, Hezekiah Harris probably.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
I think you're right.
Auburn doesn't have a commitment in the top 100.
No,
they don't.
Hezekiah 101.
101 is Hezekiah.
Both Hezekiah Harris and Shadarius Tootle have dropped a good bit with on 3 recently.
Yeah, they had that awful, January, February, and March.
They did. You're going to get Rice all kinds of riled up, Jeffrey.
Oh, man.
Me typing angrily at his computer.
All that new video that came out, and they were just terrible. Yeah.
You're going to have another thread dedicated to Charles Power after this one. Just bank on it.
Which QB commitment of those Auburn is in for would have the greatest impact on the recruiting trail? Basically, which quarterback do other recruits want to play with the most?
Good question.
Okay.
A couple of the quarterback recruits would be Travis Burgess, Lennon Duckworth,
yes,
Jaden O'Neal. Who was the other one from out west? I believe you mentioned 2 last time.
So Keyshawn
Henderson,
and
it was in the Jaden O'Neal sweepstakes. It was like if he goes to there, who was the guy? Oh, Brock. What's the kid that's committed to Texas? Oh, what's the Oklahoma? I'm sorry, the kid that's committed to Oklahoma.
That's Jaden O'Neal.
Okay,
yeah, okay. That's Jaden O'Neal, and I'm trying to think. His is tied to that kid from Texas. That's the dual threat. That's probably squeezing him at Oklahoma right now. I'm trying to think of his name. Give me just a minute. But I think we can stay in the bucket of Jaden O'Neal.
Yeah.
Travis Burgess, Duck. And, you can throw Keyshawn Henderson in there, but I think that is the long shot of long shots.
I hear you.
Well, I think Jaden O'Neal might be the highest ranked of all those that we're talking about, besides Henderson.
Yes.
Yeah, he is. Besides Henderson, he is.
We'll go with the 3 that we're pretty sure are we got Duck coming in, we've got Travis coming in, and Keyshawn will visit. No, I'm sorry, not
Keyshawn. They think he might visit. I think.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. We'll see.
But who was the other one? Jaden O'Neal. Okay. Does anybody believe that the quarterback won't be one of the 2, Travis Burgess? As of right now,
I think that's who it'll be. But when you're talking about who other recruits like, I don't really care how highly ranked Keyshawn Henderson and Jaden O'Neal are. They're not from around here.
Okay. Yeah, they're not moving the needle for them.
Give me the one around here, Landon Duckworth, Travis Burgess. I think those guys garner a lot of respect around here. Especially, Travis Burgess just won state championship in Georgia. So did Landon Duckworth won a state championship in Alabama.
Travis Burgess also won the 7A state title in Alabama.
He did.
Indirectly.
He certainly did.
Let me give you let me opine on this. Well,
go for it.
I'm sorry, whoever that was. I'm going to be honest with you. The guy they're selling to this class is Deuce Knight.
Yeah.
You just took the words right out of my mouth. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
That's who I think is that's the 2026 guy that they're selling. That they're selling to the 2026 class. They're not going to CD Morgan and going, oh man, Travis Burgess, dude. Oh man,
yeah,
Duckworth, dude. They're going, dude. We got Deuce Knight, son.
That's true.
I agree with that. Full stop. I think in addition to that, Cole, your theory kind of blends in, and I'm going to give you a singular name. I'm going to say it's Travis Burgess is more important than Duck. And I say that because what high school does he play at?
Grayson.
How many athletes are at Grayson?
Thousands.
And the surrounding schools that play him in the region.
Grayson might be, they are definitely the most talented football team I've seen in person.
So if you're trying to establish a pipeline to Grayson, why not start it with a great kid like Travis Burgess that you know is not going to be an issue within your program? A kid that does have developmental upside, good arm, good mobility, fits your system, can come in. Maybe he becomes an effective starter for you at some point. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he just goes on to do great things in his life and gets a degree from Auburn. But if it's me, I'm thinking logically, this kid creates waves for me in the city of Atlanta, which is extremely important in Auburn's recruiting network. Yeah. And it also starts your pipeline to a school that you need to be involved with year in and year out.
Well, the question is, does Landon Duckworth help you with Xavier Crowell?
I don't think so. I think that kid's all Alabama, and it wouldn't matter what Auburn did. That's just my opinion.
If that's the case, then it's Burgess all day.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm with you, Cole. If it moved the needle for Xavier Crowell, then yes, we are having a different conversation. But
that's a huge deal solely because I don't know who Auburn's going to get at running back in this class.
Yeah.
I expect it to be somebody we either barely touched on naming or have not named yet at this point.
It's going to be like some dude in November that's been committed to like Notre Dame, who's from Georgia that we haven't even talked about. You know what I mean? That guy doesn't exist, but I'm just saying that's how it was going to be. It's going to be, oh my gosh, there's a 4-star down in the Panhandle that's been committed to Notre Dame for 7 months, and now he's coming on a visit. That's the guy that they're going to end up signing.
Agreed. Or it'll be a DJ Williams type where you've got a quarterback.
Yes.
That's, being viewed as a running back. His senior film hits, you're like, oh, wow. You know what I mean? And it really pops and grabs some team's attention. So it'll be one of those two scenarios for sure.
Welders AU, thoughts about the number of commitments in the class so far, which I believe is still at 6. Is that right?
I think it's 7.
7. It is 7. Just added
Pritchett.
Dooley. Yeah, Dooley, yes. Pritchett. So at number 7 right now, May the 7th, too few or on the right pace for a good class? What is influencing this the most, in your opinion? I talked about this with Josh Newberg the other day on the national show, whatever. I think, and I told him this, I think we've talked about this too. I'm not coming up with something new here. I think Auburn can be a little patient. I think they want to be a little patient. I think they want to see what's going on in the fall. You don't want to take too many of these tier 2s just to build up your class and then go out and win 9 games and all these tier 1s are knocking on the door.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I think Auburn's pacing themselves a little bit this year because they could listen. And this is what I told him too. And I'll tell you the names. I didn't tell him the names on his show. They could have had a commitment from Xavier Tiller.
Mm-hmm.
There was another one too. There were 2 guys on offense. Who was the other one?
I felt like they were closing in on Anthony Davis at one time.
Yeah.
And could have made that happen, but didn't. Xavier Tiller for sure. Marquez Daniel, maybe. He told me he was close.
I know who. They could have had in my opinion, they could have had Travis Burgess committed by now.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So why not? Well, they're not. So they could have been up at 8 to 10 right now. They really could. They could have taken. Who did you say, Cole? Anthony Davis. They could have pushed for his commitment back in January.
Yeah.
But why do you want to? That linebacker class is loaded, dude. What are your options going to be in November when you're sitting at 9-2 headed into the Iron Bowl?
I agree.
And they believe absolutely believe 9 to 10 wins is possible this year.
Yes. Now I know that Hugh's on the rubber chicken circuit right now, or the media circuit, and he's making his rounds to various podcasts and, saying, well, I don't want to put a number on winning and, so on and so forth. But yes, in that building, damn right. They think double digits is potentially there for them or there to be had. Do we feel that way? I don't think that I'm there yet, but that doesn't matter what I think. It's what the kids in that building believe. It's what those coaches believe that truly matters at the end of the day. And they absolutely think it's on the table. And if they think that's on the table, I'm with you, Jeffrey. Being patient. Now, I will say this. Ranking be damned. I think they love kids like Wilson Zaire and Dalton Toothman. I think those guys are takes right now.
Yes.
That's not, low-hanging fruit for this staff.
Right.
And I'm not saying Burgess is. I'm not going to get into the other name, but because I think Burgess finds his way into this class. But I'm with you on the fact that they are playing the evaluation game at quarterback and being patient to see if something pops loose for them that they're very interested in.
So is anybody concerned about 7 commitments?
Well, no, because I think last year's signing day changed the landscape of things a little bit, even more so, the way it went down. Because there are so many guys that, or at least the week or two leading up to signing day, that was madness. Y'all remember how this was. Nate Marshall was committed to Auburn. One day he flips to Michigan like it was nothing. Okay,
forgot about him.
I could name so many. The Neem offered saga.
Yes.
I have to go back and look, but there were so many storylines that you thought one thing, and then it was just totally different. And it's because of NIL and the way things are, and NIL departments and coaches know, well, what is the point of showing our hand until the very end?
No, I'm with you, Cole. Make that, and we talked about it on the show, right? Like if you are in a blue chip 5-star recruitment, you want to be the last person that kid talks to, and you want to make sure your offer is the best offer they are going to hear. That is where you want to be. I do think there are certain Auburn fans that have a little bit of a panic because of they're thinking back to Harson's last year. You know, you're rolling into that summer. What did you have, like 3 commitments? Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Well, I think some have caught on because we just had a question on this show. Like, who's going to sign? I don't want to hear about commits. Tell me who's going to sign.
Right. And if they keep that,
they're going. Commits don't matter. They're going. It doesn't matter. Tell me who's going to sign with Auburn on signing day. That's where I care about it.
Sure.
And some of that is because of
that's no fun.
Oh, I know. Trust me. But some of that is not just because of the way it was last year, but because of where Auburn's at right now.
True.
Like, you know, a lot of people have tossed recruiting out of the window and gone, if you don't win, who cares?
And I think that's a valid point.
Me too.
Because
do you think the staff has picked up on this a little bit and gone, look, if we don't get this right, so let's not make our major pushes yet. Kind of what Jeffrey was saying.
No,
let's see what leverage we have come November.
I think Jeffrey's spot on with that because let's be honest here. If they're 8-4, 9-3, 10-2, Auburn's recruiting in a different market, right? If Auburn's 6-6, because expectation has changed, and I think we all agree here on this show, expectation is different going into this season.
Yeah.
You better be 7-5 and better. Or are we talking a coordinator change? Are we talking a head coaching change? I mean, I think there are things on the table for discussion to be had about what is the longevity of Hugh Freeze if you're not meeting expectation in year 3. And I'm not trying to put him on the hot seat. I'm not, because I don't think we're going to be in that situation, and I don't think the boosters do either. Yeah. But I think us talking about that right now and then how that hits come November, if that's the reality, if you're 6-6 in November at the conclusion of things, how does that feel? And the emotion of the sport. And that starts to take hold with people that want to see Auburn be successful, that are tired of seeing Auburn being mediocre or having a losing season. So, again, you land in that 8-4, 9-3, 10-2, I'm with you. You can be patient, and you should be. You saw Florida close last year.
Alan, I think we're safe on the show, man. There's enough rat poison out there floating around. I think we're okay. You're not putting them on the hot seat. Don't worry.
No. Well, the last thing I want to do is be accused. Why are you trying to put our coach on the hot seat?
You know there's going to be one guy that says
somebody's going to do it. Somebody's going to do it.
For sure.
It doesn't matter what you say. They're going to say something.
Tote that pill. Love it. I don't think you have to tote a pill. Anyways, I like the name. Do we sign 2 of the top 12 edge players? I'm going to pull up the edge rankings so everybody can see the top 12.
Isn't Hezekiah 12?
Let's see. Share screen. There we go.
Yes. I don't have to look at the list. I say yes.
Okay. Cole says yes. Zion Ely. Anthony Tank Jones is number 3. Who else is Auburn in for? Bryce Perry Wright is technically listed as an edge. I don't think either one of us would get Jacquez Wilkes is
Trent Henderson's in there.
Did I miss him? There he is,
Yeah.
number 10. Okay, so look, here your options. Zion Ely, Tank Jones at 3, 1 and 3, Trenton Henderson at 10.
Mm-hmm. Hezekiah's at 15.
And Hezekiah's let's do 15 then, big dog. Let's tote that field. Let's broad that out to the No, let's don't include Hezekiah.
He probably looked at the top 12 and said, "I'm gonna make him say 12." And
he did.
Wilson Harris.
You
Tristan,
know he did.
Yeah, Jacquez Wills. All right, so look, of basically what he's saying is of Bryce Perry Wright, who's technically ranked as an edge, so he counts. Trenton Henderson, Anthony St. Jones, Zion Ely. Does Auburn get 2 of those?
No.
Okay.
For me, Bryce Perry Wright's probably going to land with Clemson. That's my gut feel right now after kind of poking around on that one. That's Texas or Clemson, I think. And then I think you're only going to get one of Ely, Trenton Henderson, or Tank Jones. I just don't see you having the money for 2 of that 3. Like I think that is a 3 that's going to command top end dollar for a top end premium position. But I think you do retain Hezekiah in the class and pair him with one of those 2. That's what
his brother. Feel good about that after signing his brother.
I do too.
Here's why I think they can, because I think Tank Jones could potentially be a 5. Keldrick behind like his spot.
Yeah.
In fact, I think it would be silly not to be pitching that right now to him. We're going, hey man, we need you today because our guy's going first round, possibly. Can you maybe fill in and do that too? Like we need you to do that first round. That's what we did with that guy. And when you need somebody to take his place immediately.
If you're not telling that to him, you're certainly telling that to somebody. Nolan Wilson, something like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Here's what's going to happen. Hezekiah's going to move up to number 12.
There you go.
Auburn's going to sign Trent Henderson or Anthony Tank Jones or Zion Ely, and Auburn's going to finish with 2 of the top 12 edges.
All Hezekiah has to do is show improvement on the field just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
His ceiling's already so high with the way he's built and his length, wingspan, all of that.
Jared Smith.
He shows a little bit on the field. You go, we got to bump that. Yeah, exactly. With Jarrett Smith, he goes to Thompson and plays out of his mind in a few of those games. And
God, he did that first game against freaking Grayson.
Holy
he was man,
on fire. Yeah,
to hell with technique. I mean, he was just coming off.
He was grabbing good.
Yeah, his stance didn't look right at all. It didn't matter.
No, it didn't.
No, I don't. Even I could look at that and go, I don't think anybody teaches any of those moves he just used. Like, he was just going after it.
Yes, for sure.
Matt McTee, who are the 3 prospects trending the hardest to Auburn at this time? Good one. And who are the 3 commits trending the hardest away from Auburn at this time?
Oh,
good question.
Are there 3 commitments trending away from Auburn?
No, I can make a case for 3 to land elsewhere.
I think one comes to mind. Well, two come to mind.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this: Hezekiah, Devin Carter, Cedarius Tootle. Any of those 3 on your list?
Devin Carter, yes.
Devin Carter.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you have to be wary there for sure.
Florida legacy. Florida State legacy. Father is Dexter Carter, if I remember correctly.
Who played at Florida State and also coached there as a running backs coach.
Yes, he did. And they had him on campus twice during the spring. Now, if you're Auburn, the good thing for you is Gus Malzahn is the offensive coordinator at Florida State. So the likelihood of the ball going in the air has decreased significantly since he has become the offensive coordinator. That said, they're gonna put the screws to this kid. They know what it means to have a legacy recruit sign with Auburn that's from South Georgia, pretty much their backyard. Okay. I think they're going to go all out on a pitch in the same way that they did for the running back that they signed late in the cycle that Auburn was in on.
So you've got JaMichael Garrett. We all agree he's on the list.
Yes.
JaMichael Garrett, Devin Carter, and would you say who's your third?
I don't think.
Are you looking at Tootle because he's taking other visits?
I think you were looking at Hezekiah Harris at one point, but now I think we have.
Yeah,
I think we're in a different place with that now.
I was gonna say Tootle just because what if he doesn't like the competition that gets recruited at the linebacker position? That was my only thought. Like if you've got Adam Balagoon Ali, I think is how you say it, and you've got Jacquez Wilkes. If you take those two and he starts thinking, well, where's my place in this class? Now, that kid and his dad are diehard Auburn to the best I can tell.
Sure.
And so I don't think that's going to dissuade his intention of signing with Auburn, but I'm just thinking of what ifs. Like if I'm making a case for somebody, he's the one I can make a case for.
Right. There you go. You've got some artillery over there that you can some ammo to use that he's taking other visits, even though he's doing it just, I hear you.
Exactly.
I hear you. As far as the prospects trending to Auburn at this time, I think you mentioned a couple of them. Cole's put in a couple of predictions.
I've got 3 in. I would pick those 3.
Toothman,
Zierer, and Wilkes.
There you go.
Yeah. I think those are probably the 3. I think Auburn's going to have to make a decision on quarterback here somewhat soon. I think.
Oh, yeah. Burgess. I could go with him.
Well, I think Duck's coming in. You're going to know what he's going to do coming out of that visit. And then you're going to have Burgess coming in. And then how patient are you going to be? Are you going to wait for Jaden O'Neal to visit? Are you really going to wait for Keyshawn Henderson to visit? Or are you just going to say, you know what, we're making a move now, and we're not going to miss out on adding this kid in the class?
I think I told y'all this after the Collins show, and I said I would say something about it on this show. I really do think price tag is going to play a factor in quarterback, and I just don't have a problem saying that.
You should.
I just don't think Auburn's
part of the game
to go crazy on that. Not that Travis Burgess is cheap by any means. I mean, he's got interest now from NC State. He's got North Carolina. There's Wisconsin is more in this than I think we give them credit.
I think they've dropped out because they added a quarterback.
He is down to 2. Okay. Yeah. He's down to UNC or Auburn.
Well, NC State's picked up late, but then now they're going to get a visit. So
really?
It's back up to 3 now.
When did this happen?
As of last week, late last week, it shifted with him.
I think with Burgess, as long as he stays uncommitted, there's going to be schools that pop up like that with him. I mean, I even heard chatter that if Jared Curtis went the other way to Oregon, that Georgia might even take a look at him. I've heard that.
Okay. So you're getting to the point of why I posted the Jared Curtis nugget on the board the other day. Yeah, the domino, right? Because it shifted the board for other teams that are now recruiting quarterbacks. I think people took it the wrong way, and they're like, oh, Georgia scraps now. No, that's not what I was getting at. You're talking about a premier quarterback in the class has made a decision, and there's a ripple effect for every other school now because their board has shifted, and a player like Burgess is now probably up the board for somebody that missed out on Jared Curtis. Duckworth, same way. So
what you're saying is Jared Curtis's commitment to Georgia potentially forces Auburn's hand a little bit?
I think so. Burgess. I think it may speed it up some because there are other teams that are going to start to get into the mix here.
Burgess visited NC State end of April.
Yes.
And he's now set up an OV with them too. So,
yep, NC State entered the mix. Okay, I missed that.
That's what I think you're going to have some others that enter the mix if Auburn doesn't close that door. And does Auburn want to close that door yet? It's a question you wonder about. I think when it comes to where the kid and his family want to be, I think Auburn's the answer. So that's a really interesting. I think you make a great point, Alan. I want to see how fast that goes now. It seems like it might pick up a little bit now.
I think so because I think other quarterbacks are going to also start to feel the pressure of I need to secure my spot because it always is. And Jeffrey, you've been covering this for a long time. When the first one falls, then you start to see others.
Yep.
And they come quick because quarterback is that one position only one guy can play, and typically you only take one in the class. Mm-hmm. And so guys are starting to say, all right, where do I want to get in the boat? And that's why it was so rare to see Deuce flip so late.
Yeah. It was, yes, I did. Travis did set up. He's got an OV to NC State June 6th through the 8th. So he'll take, I thought he had that was NC. I don't know. Anyways, I'll get back to that. Elberg, any new intel on Cederian Morgan set to announce July 2nd? That is the new intel. He's going to announce July the 2nd. He has, let me pull up his visit schedule.
Yep.
Let's see what he's going to be doing between now and then. All right, I'm going to share this, Zach, if you can hear me. Share screen, CD. All those YouTube watchers get to see all this, and the Spotify people are just, KTV. Hey, man, is there a way you could put that in the All right, let's see. He's going to get things started with Georgia on May the 16th.
Right.
No, he's going to Colorado this weekend.
Yes, he is.
He's going to Colorado this weekend. He's going to Georgia the next weekend, Clemson the next weekend, Florida the next weekend, Auburn and Alabama to round out June, and then he will make a commitment, 2 weeks, a little less than 2 weeks after he gets finished with 6 official visits. Is anybody, I mean, there's really hasn't been any new buzz. I feel like we're all.
I'll say this. My pick is on Alabama.
Yep.
But I don't know if that's a long-term pick right now. Long-term pick is still a little fuzzy for me because I do think Auburn's going to fight pretty hard, and the track record says they'll have a shot if they do that.
Sure.
Florida's in this more than I think people say as of recently. And I never count Georgia out whenever they want to officially visit somebody. I just don't. So I think it's still just a little bit fuzzy. Now, on July the 2nd, I expect him to commit to Alabama. But my intel says don't let this one go. You know, pay attention.
Yeah. I mean, because things change. If we're using the therapy words, right, of I think or I feel.
Yeah, I believe.
Right. I think there is a world you could paint a picture where Alabama goes 8-4 and things are a little shaky. Now,
yeah.
Do I believe that's what's going to happen? No, I think Alabama's going to be pretty good this year. Like 10 win or better good. But if you told me that their quarterback play was subpar and that they ended up having to start a true freshman in Keelan Russell, I think you could find your way into the 8-win category. And then what are we looking at? Is the same level of NIL support still there? You just don't know. You know, I don't know if Kalen DeBoer is looking for someplace else to coach. This is a post-Saban world, and so I'm interested to see what the reaction in the capstone is like as we get closer to November.
Let's see. I love this question. Great one to end on. Jalise Pinkhead. We can always count on him for substantial contributions to the website. Jalise Pinkhead. Who are the Mount Rushmore of Auburn recruits Auburn needs in this class? I mean, we're putting 4 up on a mountain, folks. Auburn needs these cats. I'm sure we've talked about several of them already. Who are your 4, Alan?
My 4 are Tank Jones, Jace Matthews, Braylon Womack, Tyler Atkinson. Those are my 4. You give me those 4. Auburn's pushing for a number 1 class. I mean, pushing for a top 3 class.
Say them again.
Tank Jones, Braylon Womack, Jace Matthews, Tyler Atkinson.
All right.
Cole?
Tank Jones is definitely on mine. I don't know if Jace Matthews is, but if he's not, then it's like, man, who offensively?
Probably Emmanuel Iheanacho.
Dang it. I'm going to say it again. Claude Puma.
There you go. Okay.
I'm just going to say it again. I'm a fan of that guy, man. And I think I give Auburn more of a chance than most anybody does on that one. But is it the question you have to ask yourself in this day and age, is it another Nate Marshall kind of deal where maybe Auburn does get his commitment?
The interesting thing with him is the schools that are in contention. Whereas you knew you were fighting Michigan last year for Nate Marshall, with Claude Puma, it's Nebraska and Florida. So there's not that same regional pull to like a Midwestern school like you got last time. So that's an interesting one.
I hate to do this. So I'm going to go with Tank Jones, Claude Puma for the offensive line. I have to have the offensive line represented.
Sure.
Cederian Morgan. Mm-hmm. Hate to do it. You were thinking the same thing, weren't you, Jeffrey?
Mm-hmm.
Do I think Jace Matthews might be better than Cederian Morgan? Possibly. Not willing to go that far yet. Possibly. Does Cederian Morgan mean more for the circumstance? Potentially. So I hate to do it, and then Tyler Atkinson. He's got to be up there.
Tyler Atkinson. I'm going to go with Tank, number 1 overall player in the state.
Yep.
No, we're all on the same page there.
I'm going to throw you a little curveball. I need me a couple of big nasties on the D line. I'm going Ernest Rankins.
Oh, I like that one because that's a shot at Georgia.
Give me Ernest Rankins. I've got an edge. I've got a D lineman. Who else did I say?
So you said Tank Jones.
Tank and Ernest, I think, is the only.
Ernest
That's only 2. I really feel like Jacquez Wilkes.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
He needs to be on there because I feel like it's a huge disappointment if he doesn't.
Are you putting Cederian Morgan
on there? And I think so. I think I am going to put CD on there. I think I am because I think he is. What is he ranked in state?
Number 2, I think.
CD's number 2 by Tank. Yeah.
And Xavier Crowell's 3. So you got Tank. You got 1 and 2 from the state of Alabama. You've got number 1 in Tyler Atkinson. He's on there. He was on there too. So I will take.
You know what he means to Freeze, receiver, big guy. This is everything Freeze likes. He's from Benjamin Russell.
Yeah,
that's the other part.
So I guess I've got 5, man, because I would probably drop Wilkes in place of Tyler Atkinson, Tank Jones, and then on the Ernest Rankin. I don't know. Hell, pick 4 of those 5, dude. I don't care.
Do you consider Vodney?
Yeah, I consider him. Matter of fact, I was about to say, who am I forgetting? Because there's another defensive lineman that's really high on Auburn's board, and he's a top recruit, and it's Vodney Cleveland.
That's your in-state guy that, statement win.
Yeah, hey, I'm not opposed to making my Mount Rushmore from the state of Alabama.
I thought the same thing.
Not opposed to it at all. And of course, listen, Tyler Atkinson is a different breed, right? I mean, he's legit. Y'all not listening to me. Y'all are flirting in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are flirting about 17-year-old boys in the chat.
You know what? I can multitask. I got it. Right here.
I was listening to you.
You weren't. Well, anyway, seriously, of the guys that we just mentioned, seriously, pick 4 of them, put them on the mountain, and nobody's going to argue with you.
Yeah.
I feel like those. I like that question. It would probably change from month to month, but that was a good one to end on. Let's do some Abachies. Zach said the Mount Rushmore of private chat messages.
Yes, for sure.
How about you? I have 3.
So many.
Okay.
So many. I'm going to have to half them up.
I'm going to have to do the same thing. But let me get in here first.
I guarantee you, I'm going to have a lot of times too. So just be ready for that, Jeffrey.
Okay. The first one is going to go to Phone for his post in the Colton and Brandon Hood to Colorado thread.
This is the third week in a row for Phone.
I know. It said, I did not have at Allen Head bumping a year-old post on my bingo card today.
That was funny. You did. You bumped a year-old post.
I did. It was the first time ever, but it felt like that one needed to be said.
Had a little cook in you, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did. I did. Had a little petty in me that day.
Yeah.
Or rice.
For Frank Goldberg in his thread of the Mount Rushmore of strip clubs. I thought that was a nice spin on your series there, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave the names not disclosed right now.
Wesley's booby trap's got to be on there. I became a man in Jasper.
Oh,
Summerton, actually. I think it's in Summerton.
I can only imagine.
Boy, mercy.
Which brings me to the gold mine of this week. Dennis Rodman and his Allenisms thread.
×2.
Who here's where I will post Allen's newest improved ways of describing depth. So far, we have seen layered, obtainable, quality, affordable, diverse, and that's all I've got. The one that gets me is when he says it best is, and I'm not taking a shot at the kid, and then he really goes in.
I'm not taking a shot at the kid, but he's a piece of shit. I mean, it's on
I will say Dennis spelled Allen wrong.
Yes, he did. That's Dennis. I'm giving you some slack here. Okay. Let's see. Let me get.
No, you missed the best one. It was when he says, number one, he does this, and B, he does this.
Yes, I'm getting to it.
Okay. I thought that was Dennis.
No, Dennis didn't say that. It was in his thread. Okay, so it is Turner Walker for me. And I think this is the first one. He said,
okay,
when listing off things, for example, I can see this guy ending up in the class for a couple of reasons. A, reason. 2, he said, it kills me every time. Reminds me of Home Alone.
Yeah, that's ×2.
Well played, Turner Walker.
×2 for Turner Walker.
Yes. Grady Hall gets one from me for Feel His Name.
Who was that after Turner Walker?
Grady Hall.
Okay.
Or Grady _Hall.
Okay.
Field name in, stuffed in a locker, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
One of my favorites. And finally, Ranger 361.
Good.
Okay, I'm trying not to disparage or take a shot at the young man. But. So, a lot of fun, guys. I appreciate that.
That was a good thread.
Yes.
That was a good
I thoroughly laughed and almost actually fell off the can. I was reading one of them.
So, Alan, I could really hear it as I was reading it.
Yeah, me too, Cole.
For sure.
Let me just pick up right there.
The Turner Walker, the one and the B or whatever it is.
Yes.
That killed me, dude.
Because it is true. Go ahead. I read that to my wife, and she's like, Alan, you do that.
Nobody said the best one. I didn't see anybody say the best one.
Okay, what do you got?
It's when you go, it's not rocket surgery.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
That might be my favorite. But picking up on that thread, I'll go ahead and go, Jeffrey.
Okay. Yeah.
East Saint 1, who said, this is bad podcasting on my end. But
yes. Yeah, I drop that one in from time to time.
Big Barner Brand said, the young man from.
Oh, yes.
Can't think of his name, but big young man from Loganville. What's his name?
Oh, dude. There's some recruit Nick somewhere that's just like, it's blah, 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 you idiot. You know what I mean? Like, just say the name.
I cut out.
Thankfully,
it's like when Cole listens to when it's just you and me on the show, and we're like, "Well, what's that guy's name?" And Cole's in the background. He's just listening to the show, going, "You idiots!"
Oh,
Justin?
Were you explaining Tune? What Tune said?
Yes, Cole is straight MFing me. You know what I mean? Like, as we can't get the name out.
Yes. Remember, he come back from the last show. He was like, "Can I believe y'all didn't think of his guy's name is Quentin Riggins?" I mean, I don't know how in the hell you don't remember that.
That was the first text we got. Y'all are killing me right now.
Yeah, it was.
Can't even watch it. Oh boy,
I'm so disappointed in you both.
All right, thank you for explaining Tune as I dropped out there. this is my favorite one of the Alanisms thread. It was E. Maximus.
Oh.
He said, will Mr. Allen Head ask himself a rhetorical question and inevitably answer said question? Yes, he will. Will he stop doing this? That remains to be seen.
That's good.
Cole, was there somebody in between Big Barner Brand and E. Maximus?
East St. One and Toon were the other two.
Toon?
Toon. Toon. Toon.
Okay.
Like a cartoon.
Remember old Poon from the bunker?
Yes.
Remember old Poon? I wonder if he's still around.
That might
I
be
can't remember. Was he a good one or a bad one?
He was okay. But I just, every time I saw Poon, like,
yeah,
brought a smile to my face.
Hey, it does that to you, don't it? Okay. Is it raining over there? I don't know. How's the weather?
Yeah.
Okay. How about them breaks? Damn.
Oh, man.
All right, I got 3. I've got Austin Faison. Can't remember why, but how about you, big dog? How about you, the North Georgia Tiger? Now, if y'all aren't following along on the corner, this is obviously it's a downtime, but I started this Mount Rushmore of positions at Auburn, the history of Auburn. North Georgia Tiger's been right there with me on a lot of these guys. He's helping me out. He's been very good. And then Aaron from Auburn Junior High School. He's not from there, but I saw him there checking out Brooks. He was checking out. Big fan of the show.
Nice.
Okay.
So how about you, Aaron?
Nice.
How about you, big dog? How about you to Brooks Lee? He made the all A and B honor roll for the entire year.
Hey.
How about you, Brooks Lee?
Make that a times 2 for me.
All right.
Hey, good for Brooks.
3. Make it a 3 since I never did that once.
And Jake Andrews did too. Jessica's boy, Jake Andrews. So how about you to Brooks and Jake?
You got some future doctors in there, Jeffrey.
Times 3. Do you know Brooks? He watches freaking Grey's Anatomy. Like he loves. I don't know if he's watching it because of
yeah.
You don't know why he's watching it. He's watching it.
Good for Brooks.
You might have a couple rocket surgeons in there.
There you go, man.
A couple of rocket surgeons watching Step Brothers.
Hey,
this is the house of learning doctors.
Jeffrey, let me throw one more in there. I'm sorry.
Okay, good.
Braden, our guy Braden, Selma affiliate there. On the official post from you, Jeffrey, about Rivals and On 3 joining, I just felt like we had to add this. He says, well, boys, how about yous are about to get that much more competitive?
How about you to Braden for acknowledgement of a bigger pool to choose from?
This is true. This is true. It's going to be interesting.
I don't know if there's going to be a lot of crossover, though. I don't know. We're still kind of ironing out how all this is going to work, and I can promise you this. I absolutely believe there will be, if the sites do get integrated, folks, we're going to have 2 separate message boards. I mean, so I've been part of both of them. Was part of the bunker for 20 years. It's got its place. It's got its people. It's absolutely. And I don't want that to end. And I certainly don't want the corner to end either. So I think worst case scenario, we're looking at 2 different. I mean, you come to the Auburn Live on 3 website, you've got a choice. You want to go see the bunker? You want to go to see the corner?
There you go.
And they will be policed in the same fashion they always have been. So, but I appreciate it, man. That's good stuff. Fantastic show. Fantastic questions. Our questions, I feel like, are getting better and better, man. I guess when there's more going on, you've got more to ask about. But some very knowledgeable subs, members getting in here. Let me throw that row back out for you one more time. If you want to hook it up, if you want to pop that collar like me, use the promo code Auburn20 on aeroback.com for a generous 20% off for all new customers. That's spelled RHOBACK.com. 20% off all performance polos, shorts, and more with the promo code Auburn20. No, that's not the promo code. It's Auburn20. It's freaking Auburn20. Not really. Leave the freaking out. Auburn20. Auburn20. All right. God bless America. Get me off this air. That's bad podcasting right there, folks. Hey, we're going to be back Sunday night for the call-in show. We'll be back again next week for the recruiting show. Stay tuned to Auburn Live on 3. If you're not a member, go check us out. Use the promo code FRIEND for 50% off an annual subscription. Come join in all the fun. We still got defense to go on the Mount Rushmore, so we'll be doing a lot more for the weeks to come. So I appreciate everybody listening, man. We appreciate everybody watching. For Allen Head, for Cole Pinkston, for Zach in the back who stayed in the back, I'm Jeffrey Lee, man. Y'all stay at that left lane. See you.